Hey guys, it's Golden Duffy from the Golden Hour, and I have a super duper special guest today. This is my friend Brett Booker. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So Brett's one of these people that shows up in my life at extremely interesting times and lifts me up. So I just thought it would be so cool to have you on and share what you have been sharing with me and just share your energy with the world and your story, because I think your story is really impactful, and I think what you're doing is I don't know, it's really made a huge difference in my life, and I don't say that lightly. There's not a lot of people in my life that come in and support me and cheer me on, so I really appreciate it. So welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And one thing you just highlighted just now, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to this, but I've always looked at my intuition is the authentic voice of God. And there's those instances from when I even just first met you here in the office kitchen where
You did, and I was not having a good day.
Yeah, and neither I was extremely sleep deprived, but I just had that intuition that just said, hey, talk to her about social media, talk to her about sharing your message and sharing your purpose. And I feel like we only get into those states when we are in true alignment with our purpose and we're flowing and we're not trying to force anything.
No, it's absolutely true. And when I met you, I was like trying to figure things out, and I've been podcasting for a few years and I haven't really made money from it, and I was really frustrated and I wanted to figure out a new way. And you just said a couple of things to me, and you've come into my office many times and helped me figure some things out that helps me to get up every day and feel like I'm living my purpose now.
Yeah.
And that's probably the biggest shift that I've had since we met, where I'm like, I don't feel like I'm over here wishing I could do it. I'm actually doing something about it. So that's amazing.
Yeah. And I can relate to that. So for those of you that aren't familiar with my story, should I share my story a little bit?
Please do, because it's pretty special.
Yeah. So at the core of it, I always tell people that you are who you are becoming. And sometimes like that quote in particular, like when it was first shared with me, it didn't even like fully resonate. I didn't even fully understand what it meant until I was able to step back, unfortunately, in prison and be like, oh, wow, that's what that means. So
wait, you went to prison?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do tell.
Yeah. From teenage years on, it started small, right? It just started smoking weed, then not wanting to pay for the weed anymore. So I started selling the weed. And then when I was in high school, we had the advent of Bitcoin that came out in around 2010. I started dabbling in the dark web. I was using a lot of my skill sets in the wrong area. And that's just what was so crazy to me. It's like, if you're going to go in a pool, first you put your feet in the water, and then the water reaches your knees, then your thighs, then your hips, and before you know it, you're fully submerged. And that's exactly what happened to me, because I couldn't even feel that momentum that was building up in that wrong direction until, DEA, Homeland Security, had arrested me. And I just remember sitting in county jail.
And you were 19?
19.
19 years old.
19.
I was having a baby at 19.
Were you?
Yes. That's a different kind of jail.
It is. Yeah,
Okay.
I remember sitting in there, and, I was locked in what I call the mental prison, because there was just so much going on within me. I was like obsessing over all the mistakes of my past, the woulda, the coulda, the shoulda. Why did I trust this person? Why did I do this? And it paralyzed me to the point that I was feeling so depressed. And then at the same time, I knew I was probably going to get a minimum of 10, 11 years. So
were you in victim mentality at that point? Kind of like blaming?
Not necessarily. I would say I was in schemer mentality.
Schemer, okay.
Which was, you only operate from a mindset of what's in my best interest, do whatever it takes to try to wiggle your way out of the situation. Because I thought maybe the situation could disappear, and it definitely couldn't.
Right.
And it was during that moment that even like talking to family who really didn't want anything to do with me anymore, and they would be trying to tell me on the phone, when you get out, we're not going to help you. Can't live with us.
This is like your parents?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay.
And I remember I had one conversation with them, and this was kind of like the mindset shift in that regard. Was I said, Dad, we really can't even have these conversations, because I won't be out. At the time it was 2014. I said I won't be out until at least 2024.
Wow.
So,
I could just. If you don't talk to me now, you're not going to talk to me.
Well, the stipulations they were trying to put on me, like you should go to treatment and this, I said, and I just heard him pause, and it really sunk in, and he kind of stepped up, and that's why I was really grateful that he stepped up and just continued to support me and give me the wisdom that I needed, because it was in that cell, like I told you, that I was locked in the mental prison, the woulda, coulda, shoulda of the past, anxiety of the future, knowing like, am I gonna have to go to a prison? There's gonna be riots and knives. That it locked you in.
Stressful.
But I had a moment when I was in there after a lot of reflection where I just took so much accountability for my life, and because it was so painful to think about tomorrow or even the day before, I started living in like 10-minute tight compartments.
Presence. Yep.
And after
how did you do that? That's like major mind training, and no one even taught you how to do that.
Well, it was out of necessity, because like I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, I couldn't think, and I was in such misery that the only option was just to focus on, let's do some push-ups, let's clean my cell, let's do this. And after a period of time,
that's meditative what you were doing. Seriously. Was that the first time you ever got in trouble?
No.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure how much like mom and dad had been through like before they said enough is enough. Yeah,
I definitely put them through the ringer, but everything that led up to that, I had miraculously escaped it.
Right.
Because of, something would happen with the evidence or the case, and some of it was when I was a juvenile, right?
Yeah, right.
So I had been able to escape accountability. So I just assumed the same thing would happen, not understanding the severity.
Your luck had run out, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And when I felt like I escaped what I call the mental prison, the physical one became easy.
Right.
There was no more fear. There was no more worry. I just said, I'm just going to do the best I can every single day, and I'm so determined to make this the defining moment of my life.
So you basically tuned into a different frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Because that first frequency you were on, I could imagine a lot of really bad stuff would have happened to you being in that state, right? Feeling the fear, having all of that stuff reflected to you. How did you do that? That's like mastery.
I attribute a lot of it to just having family members who would pour into me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, for example, one thing that my dad would tell me over and over and over again is, Brett, you will prevail. You will prevail. And he would tell me to say it to myself every single day. And that's when I learned the power of our words, because I would say that so much that it became part of my identity to a degree where no matter what happened, I would literally turn it into something advantageous. Or the second piece was, he's like, Brett, you need a mission statement. I'm like, why? Why do I need a mission statement?
Yeah.
So
it's a mantra.
Yeah, right? My mantra was, without assimilating to my environment, I strive to learn daily and make this the defining moment of my life. So I'd repeat it 10, 20 times every morning in the mirror.
Say that again?
Yeah, so without assimilating to my environment.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to be hardened. I didn't want to be a convict. I didn't want to be violent. I didn't want to lose empathy.
You didn't want to become what most people in prison become.
Mm-hmm. And then I strive to learn daily because there had to be a daily growth mechanism, because prisons are built to just warehouse you.
Yep.
And then, and make this the defining moment of my life, because I knew I was either going to be defined for the rest of my life of spending a decade in prison, or I was going to be defined by how I chose to respond every day.
Your victory. Yeah. How did you learn every day?
Yeah. So a lot of it was, I'm an autodidact. So, what that means is I'm just self-taught.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And learning is a skill set.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And they don't really teach you that in school growing up. But I just had this insatiable appetite for learning and curiosity for the world.
Yep.
So, my dad would just send me so many different books, but I would create my own study programs where I'm picking an area that I want to learn, and then I'm getting as many books on that topic as possible.
Okay.
And then just
so like mastering subjects. I love that. I wanted to just touch back on what your dad said to you, because one thing that I've noticed being a parent and then sharing this with other parents is that what we say to our kids, when that becomes their inner story, it changes how they are. But so often as a parent, we're trying to change them, and we're trying to tell them what they're doing wrong in an effort to get them to do something right. But when you start to tell them when they're going through a tough time, I had 2 daughters that went through eating disorders that were just horrible, just so hard to go through, like close to being hospitalized kind of stuff. And I remember saying to my daughter, we're going to get through this. Like, you're going to get through this. You're stronger than this. You're stronger than you know. And I just kept saying that. And every time you do that with your kids, that's the story they get to hear. That's what, and my daughter said to me recently, she's like, Mom, thanks for not making me feel like a failure. She's 24 years old and she hasn't figured out how to move out yet. And her baby sister just moved out. So that's like, she's the last one there. And I said, baby, you are not a loser. Like, you have so many gifts, so many talents. We're giving you that time to figure it out. And that's what you're doing right now. You're going to figure it out. Like, I have no doubt in my mind you're going to figure it out. When you say that to them, then they stop beating themselves up and saying that. So your dad did you a huge service.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, so many, because, all those mantras would repeat in my head.
Yeah.
And I feel like even what you said brought up just something so fascinating that happened for me when I was released after all that time. And that was when you're dissociated with, like, the culture and societal norms. It's different, because, like, even what you said with your daughter, I mean, in other societies, it's normal for 3 generations to live underneath one roof.
Yeah.
But then you feel an external pressure that's not even real to move out. It should be a privilege that I get to hang out with my mom. I get to learn. Like, so how could you feel? It's crazy that society has created this pressure cooker that you have to feel bad because I have a mom and dad that loves me.
Yeah.
And I get to hang out with them, and we get to spend more time together.
Instead of, like, struggling to figure out my life, because that's what we had to do.
Or, like, living alone by yourself for what?
Right. For what?
Yeah,
to feel independent. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about, there's so many things I want to talk about, but I'm so curious about this, and I think about it often. You had a year in confinement.
A year of solitary, but they call it
That's
the
nuts.
SHU, which means Special Housing Unit, ADSEG. And in federal prison, it's a little bit different. State prison and solitary, you still get a TV and books. In federal prison, you get a mattress. That's about it.
What did you do to get that?
I take accountability.
Yes.
Yeah.
Am I outing you right now?
No, you're definitely not outing me. I mean, these are things I've shared before. You outed yourself. What is your Instagram? I'll put it in it's Brett Booker, ITS.
You out yourself daily.
Yeah. Yeah, this is interesting because when I got to an institution, I told myself, I'm not going to participate in how everybody's on cell phones and this and that.
Yeah.
But there was a culture at that prison I was at where if they get a cell phone and they find it, like, in a common area, they punish everybody. So they take away everybody's phone privileges, your email, your commissary.
Who's stupid enough to leave a phone out? Or do they just find it on someone?
No, I mean, people don't want to get caught with it, so people are selfish, right? So you hide it somewhere, and then they just punish everybody.
Gotcha.
But it created this culture where you say, well, even if I follow the rules,
I'm still going to get in trouble.
I get no commissary, no phone, no email. I can't talk to my family for months. All these other guys are on a cell phone right now talking to their family, right? So
I think I'm not in the frame. Hold on. Move over. Okay.
Yeah. So I reached a point where I was like, I'm going to participate. And anything I do, I want to be the best at it. So I had participated in a lot of shenanigans for a period of time, and I ended up getting caught with 4 iPhones. 4? Yeah.
He didn't need 1. He needed 4.
Yeah.
How many iPhones do you have right now?
3.
Okay. So still doing that.
So I had more in there than out here.
And I'm not going to ask how you got it. Never mind. Okay. So let's talk about solitary confinement. Because that, to me, I feel like, but you were already dialed into this mental space.
Well, so the fascinating thing was, so the way I got caught was I had a stash spot. I was about to see, this was like at the end of COVID.
Okay.
2023. So I did this year of solitary.
Wow.
No, in 2022. So I did this year of solitary like shortly before my release, right?
Yeah.
And, it was just bad timing. I was about to see a family member for the first time in like 4 years because we had no communication during COVID.
Yeah.
Or not 4 years, about 3 years because I was in transit before that.
Yep.
And essentially I was pulling it out of the stash spot. The guard walked up on me. I wouldn't reveal it. I offered him $3,000 to walk away, but before he could make a decision, another inmate was Snoopy, and I was like, you know, I can't do anything about it, but what's important is this. I gave him, I was like, I'm stuck in this corner, so I handed him the phones and I said, hey, listen, give me 1 hour before you report this so I can pack up and do what I got to do.
Yeah.
So I called my dad and I said, you know, hey, Dad, I know you're going to fly out here to visit me. I can't talk about what's about to happen, but just know that you're not going to hear from me for at least a year.
Oh, man.
And I know I'm probably going to be sent halfway across the country. I don't know what this journey is going to bring. I love you to death. Please don't worry about me.
Right, right.
And in those moments, my dad always stepped up and he would say things like, you know, in this instance, he said, Brett, do not allow them to see that they have broken you.
Wow.
And that's why when I was walked to segregation, to solitary, I kept my chin up high.
Yep.
And it was my mantra the entire time that I was in there that there's nothing you could do to break me. And there's moments in life where you don't believe it. But if you say it enough and you really focus your energy and your intention on a statement like that, you begin to embody it.
Yep.
Because in that segregation, I was the only white person.
Okay.
The guards can't sell me up with other gangs and stuff because they'll try to hurt me, right?
Right.
Those are just the politics, but I'm not allowed to communicate that. The guards just know that if we can't say anything as inmates, so if they try to put somebody in there, I would hopefully want to get my handcuffs off first and attack him before he attacks me. So these are just the inmate rules where you can't be labeled as, you know, someone who doesn't have courage by saying, oh, no, guard, you can't put him in here.
Right. But so solitary confinement does not mean you're by yourself.
I was because of the fact that
you were the only white guy.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Because I was on a yard with mostly norteños and just different gangs.
Oh, it's a gang?
Yeah, it's a Mexican gang from primarily Northern California.
Wow. I bet you saw some stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what's fascinating is humans are able to adapt way faster than you could ever think.
Right.
And yeah, legitimately started to feel like an animal.
Wow.
You know,
like Lord of the
Flies. Getting comfortable with the handcuffs and things like that. So
really, just like embracing it, because you have to accept it, right? If you're constantly in a fight or flight.
Yeah, man, you know how miserable that would be? It's
you would
like
be exhausted.
Yeah, because the window's blacked out. You don't know if it's night or day. There's no clock. So you just start to learn these abilities where you know that if they bring a meal and it's lunchtime, it's 11 a.m.
Okay.
If it's
you got your cues.
Dinner time, it's 5 p.m.
Okay.
And then after that, if I hear them walking, because they walk every hour, I can hear the gate open. I can keep track of things.
Wow.
So you're just slowly able to track the time of day based on the guards' movements and check-ins and things like that.
And when they put you in there, did you know you were going to be there for a year, or it was just kind of like you're just there until they say you can leave?
You know, when you're in the system long enough, you kind of ascertain the process.
You do.
So I knew that I was going to be in there. I would have to wait 2 months to see disciplinary hearing. DHO is what they call it.
Yeah.
I just said it's guilty. I'm guilty. It's mine.
Yeah.
And then they give you a period of time to be in there, and then they do what's called diesel therapy.
Okay.
So diesel therapy is, I took a bus to United States Penitentiary Victorville, then a plane to Oklahoma, a plane to MDC Chicago, a bus to Indiana, a bus to Wisconsin, then a bus to Minnesota.
All handcuffed?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So that's why they call it diesel therapy, because it may take 4 months to do that.
Yep.
And you don't know how long you're at any of these institutions. And at some of these places you're at, because of the politics and the gangs, it could be kind of scary. Like when I was in Chicago, I was in a dorm with all, gangster disciples, right?
Okay.
Once again, the only white person in the dorm. So it requires you as for me as a man to have courage.
Right.
Because if you don't show courage in those environments, you could be taken advantage of. So
Right.
people respect it when you're willing to stand up for yourself and you carry yourself a certain type of way.
Interesting.
You just don't show fear.
Right. That's tough.
Yeah.
That's really tough.
Yeah.
So are you acting? Like, do you have acting skills going on, or
Absolutely not.
are you like, have you just convinced yourself that you're not in fear no matter what?
No, Goldyn, you met me after a period of time where I have somewhat reacclimated back to society, but my family knew firsthand
Yeah.
how aggressive I was when I first got out.
And
I hate to admit it, I was in such a mindset. There was a moment where I think I was with my mom and she was really grilling me and talking with a tone of voice, and I just remember I didn't like hurt her or anything, but I just kind of grabbed her arm firmly and I was like, I will.
Yeah. It's a
and
PTSD,
then I had to be like, Mom, I'm sorry. And she was so scared, but
I would imagine it's like PTSD.
You know what? I don't ascribe it as PTSD. I mean, mind you, I know I respect. I'm not a doctor.
Right.
But
it's a trigger, right?
I call it patterns.
It's a pattern.
Because never once have I ever defined myself as someone who suffers from trauma. I'm extremely happy, and every day I am so grateful. What happened was I lived by a different set of patterns, rules, and societal norms that applied to the prison environment.
Yep.
And those don't apply out here. Like just at, our gym across the street.
Yep.
That's why I was very transparent with staff. When I first got there, I said, hey guys, I'm fresh out. I don't do well with confrontation.
Yep.
I really want to be a good member at this gym.
Yep.
This is my story. And it saved me because, there was a time where an older woman was screaming at me and I remember grabbing a weight.
Oh gosh.
And my first thought was hit her with the weight.
Oh no.
And the staff ran in and they knew. But that's why one thing that I did different that I always tell people that have been in situations like myself is you have to create support systems and you have to be comfortable with asking for help.
Yep.
Because my main priority was a smooth transition.
Yeah.
And I can't control all the time that I have this operating system now.
Yep.
That's not going to serve me in society.
In society, exactly.
Right?
Yep.
Especially when people out here acted in a way that I wasn't used to. Like you can't gossip in prison. Word will get back and
you get killed.
Yeah, and in other instances, you don't yell at people in prison because it's either you fight or you don't.
Right.
In fact, when you do, you don't even yell before you do it. It's just action, right?
Right.
So
you don't warn anybody that you're going to do it, right? I would love to know how you would handle somebody yelling at you in road rage, because that happened to me the other day.
Yeah.
It's like,
and other things too were my communication style. Unfortunately, I hurt a lot of people's feelings because I was so blunt.
So direct.
Yeah, I was at a Bible study and I told the lady across from me, you are fat as hell. Like you need to lose some weight. Like you're not serving.
But didn't you do her a favor?
She came around, but it caused so much drama.
Yeah.
For my mom and other people that I felt guilty.
Right.
And now I'm under the presumption that, people are going to live life however they want to live. Yeah. It's not my responsibility to say anything, but
try to fix them, yeah.
I was in a culture where that's how you would talk to people, right?
Gotcha. Yep. So you had to train yourself to be a civilian again.
Yeah, and guess what? I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I'm still learning. I still find myself in circumstances and I have to remind myself, okay, Brett, you're a little bit different.
Right. Right.
They don't know, just chill, practice grace.
Right.
But it's a testament really to my whole presumption in that we have an internal operating system, we have patterns, and they are automatic. And the only way to change those is to, one, gain self-awareness of them.
Yep.
And then two, identify which new identities you want to adopt.
Yes.
And then casting what I call daily votes or actions towards that new identity until it becomes a part of who you are.
Right.
Yeah.
And is that through repetition?
It's through repetition, belief, and it's also, instead of saying, I want to be more confident, it's just, I'm the most confident person in the world. And as you're operating in any given circumstance, you're always asking yourself, what would the most confident person in the world, who is I,
Yes.
do in this situation?
Do in this situation. So you have enough space to do that. So you're not, so this is why I always share with people, because meditation has been that space for me where I've been able to like make a choice. But if you're running on an operating pattern, right?
Yeah.
You don't always have that choice. And awareness doesn't necessarily do anything. It will let you know what you're doing, but it doesn't change anything until
Agreed.
you say, I'm not. I always think of it like a well-worn pathway in your brain, right? If you, or a roller coaster that you're like, something you're sliding into, and if you don't stop that pattern, you're going to take it for a ride.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it that causes you to be able to stop that pattern? Can you put that like in words? Because I think that would be helpful.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is what I alluded to earlier with, accountability systems and support networks. Because, change by yourself can be incredibly challenging.
Incredibly.
That's why, I meat some people and they don't want to share their goals or what they're going through.
Yep.
I have found the opposite when I'm authentic, and like I said, at the gym, I literally told them, I'm fresh out. I want to be a great member of this gym. This is what I struggle with. I'm just being honest with you guys because it's a weakness of mine, and I would love your support in this process of mine.
That is very vulnerable. That's very vulnerable to be able to do that.
However, vulnerability is how you connect with people, because as soon as I'd walk into the gym, I don't sign in. They say, hey, what's up, Brett?
Yeah.
I go upstairs. Everybody knows me. So, I mean, your story's your superpower to that degree. It's just, it was something.
Not having the shame around it, right?
Yeah.
Being forthright, being proud of your story. No matter what
and
it
a
is.
lot of people mistake that, unfortunately. I've had people tell me, like, oh, you're proud of it, or, be humble. And I'm like, I'm not going to stoop to your worldview, because, when you can share your story with people, especially where you were and how you transformed, it inspires more people. So I don't like it when people live small.
Yeah.
You should be proud of how far you've come. And lastly, sometimes when I share my story with people, they'll be like, oh, well, mine's not that bad. I said, like, listen, it's pain and suffering is relative.
Yes.
I have friends, unfortunately, that have committed suicide over, things that may seem trivial, but to them it was everything, right?
Yep.
And we all can handle different thresholds of pain.
It's very true.
Yeah,
no, that's absolutely true. So when it comes to mindset, how do you keep yourself? Do you struggle ever?
You know what?
Because I don't think I've ever seen you struggle, but we haven't been friends for that long.
Yeah, you know what? I really...
Come to me with your struggle.
I don't, and it's because I have, in prison, I had to embrace the law of detachment to such a degree, because at any point in time, the guards can just throw all your stuff away.
Yep.
You don't know how long you're going to be at a prison. You don't own any possessions. All you really have is just yourself, and then what are you going to do that day?
Yeah.
So the reason I don't struggle, really, because I've already been through so much. There's really nothing that could happen to me in my life that could be worse than what I've already been through.
So do you think people need that perspective to stop sweating the small stuff?
Absolutely. I mean, someday most people will wake up and realize that it was their darkest, most painful chapters of their life that allowed them to become the strongest, most grateful, centered version of themselves. And that's why I also don't trust people who haven't been through a lot of pain and suffering, because, like, one of my beliefs is that morality is a privilege.
Yeah.
Anybody can be a good person when everything's going good.
Sure.
And you have no problems. The real test of a man or woman is, how do you respond when everything is going against you?
Yeah.
When you could do the wrong thing and maybe no one will know.
Yeah.
Right?
And it will make your life better or easier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But for me, like, I already went through this entire process where I had so much negative karmic debt.
Yep.
That's why a lot of those bad things were happening to me.
Right.
Once I cleared that karmic debt, I considered having a clear conscience one of the highest priorities at all times.
Which is wild, because you could have carried that around with you forever. You could have carried that like a badge of dishonor, we'll call it.
Yeah, and you know what? I gave a lot of breakthroughs to guys in prison through, I taught a lot of courses in there and whatnot.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, a lot of people never reach that point. And partially it could be because they haven't seen or experienced the benefit of how you feel in a state of no detachment, of a clear conscience, of no karmic debt, of just being grateful every day.
Yeah.
And everybody's on their own timeline. Some people may figure it out, some people don't, but I commend anybody who goes on that journey to seek that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've met a lot of people who, like you were saying, haven't had a lot of pain or a lot of suffering, or maybe their financial picture has always been like neat and clean, and they're some of the most fearful people about money, which I find so interesting. And I feel like for me, I've been through so much financial stuff that it's like I already know how to come out of that. So it's like it doesn't really affect me the way it does somebody else, where they're fearful that they're going to lose it, because I'm like, if I lose it, I'm just going to get it back. Like that's how we operate. And as much as like it's not fun to go through financial struggle, the point of it is about your expansion and your growth and that detachment, right? Because it doesn't define us. As much as our world says it defines us, if it defined us, we would put all our money in our coffin and take it with us, right? It doesn't define, and that's why you do all this like risk taking, which I freaking love. Like you're such a good person for me, because we've taken such big risks this past year. Yeah. Because you remind me that without taking the risks, you don't get the rewards. And that's where we're right in the cusp of that, like starting to like ride that. Yeah,
and people think it's just so fascinating to me. It's like, if you're an entrepreneur or you have a business, you'll talk to someone that maybe only has a job, and they'll be like, oh, are you logging your hours? Are you doing this? I guess what they don't understand is, it's not everybody's cut out for it, but if you look at it from a longer time horizon, you could have somebody who, person A, maybe they make $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year. Yep. Your business is going slow, or you're reinvesting all the profits. Yep. 30 grand for it. Like you're maybe struggling. Yeah. But then on year 6, you make 10 million. Right. You have this big break, and it's like they couldn't even catch up to you now. Nope. Right? So to me, it's more of a risk to not take risks, because your job's not guaranteed. You think it's stable, but companies can disappear. What happens if your health goes bad and then you lose your job? Yeah. It's that false sense of security. Yeah, and besides, a lot of people have a negative relationship with money. If you really calculated what you needed for a really high quality of life, there's a certain threshold, and beyond that, it's just fun. It's just fun. Right? You're just building things that you enjoy. Yes, I love that. That's awesome. So give us some more mindset stuff. Yeah. Yeah. What specifically? Because it always ties into a specific problem. Well, I think, I think the problem for people a lot of times is that they allow their mind to tell them things. Like I'm always trying to help people separate themselves from their mind, because the mind loves to work on problems. It loves to keep you the same. It loves to, give you reasons why you shouldn't take the risks, right? Because it wants to keep you safe. It wants to keep you the same, right? Like that's our ego, like making sure we're safe. Yeah, I have a framework for that, and believe it or not, it's just I've always looked at it as I'm a witness to my thoughts. A lot of people think their thoughts are facts or reality. Now, where did you learn this? Just through a lot of self-reflection. I mean, when you're in solitary, like, you got nothing but to think. That's so amazing, yeah. You got a lot of think about mental models and belief systems. And besides, like I told you, it's I like had the whole thing just started to fall apart. Like the whole reality started to fall apart because you weren't part of it anymore. Yeah. Wow. It also reached a point where, even since being out, and I hate to even say this, but I'll see some people freaking out, and I want to have empathy, I want to have compassion, but I'm like, I just want to say, shut the fuck up. These aren't problems, right? They're self-manifestations of your fear. Right. Like, shut up. And sometimes that works for people. Some people respond to my approach, which sometimes is more like aggressive mentor. Sometimes compassion works best. But yeah, I only found a lot of these answers because I was seeking solutions to what I was going through.
Right.
And I had been going through a tremendous amount of pain and suffering. And all I knew was my mission statement, which was, I will prevail.
I will prevail.
I will make this the defining moment of my life. And that's,
That's definitely what you've done.
because it was such a huge part of my identity, it just, the behaviors that complemented that became second nature. It was the new pattern. It was my new response.
Yep. I love that. So you left me a message recently, and it was so great. The voice message that you send me sometimes is just, It's like exactly what I need to hear. But you said something interesting, and I wanted to bring it up today. You said there's dark forces out there. And my thought was, and this is kind of what I've been going through and these realizations and awakenings, is the dark forces are in us. There's no dark forces out there. We're creating them by the way that we think and the way we perceive the world. So it's like watching the news, right? You're tuning into that frequency, and then you're talking about it with people, right? Which drives me crazy, because then you're basically affecting their vibration. You're tuning them into a frequency that they didn't ask for, because now you have a story about the news and you have to share it, right? This just happened recently with a crazy story, and I was like, I didn't even know about it, and then of course then it's showing up on my Facebook feed, and then I'm looking into it, and now my frequency is messed up, right? So protect your frequency and help other people protect theirs. But then I started thinking about the fact that the only thing that's really going on right now is whatever we say is going on right now.
You articulated that really well. I'm glad you said that, because my belief is, reality isn't as it is as you are. And the reason I say that is, 1,000 people could see the same event and it's different outcomes. A lot of people that live in, this part of the country, Orange County, California, they'll say a lot of people are fake. I find people that are genuine, dope human beings that always want to help me.
So real. So true.
I put that energy out in the world. And people oftentimes feel compelled or rallied to want to come to be a part of my cause or what I'm building. And you hit it spot on. The dark forces are a self-manifestation of your fears and your worldviews. And that's why, it's disheartening to see how many people are swayed into different movements, political ideologies, belief systems. And a lot of it's tribalistic. A lot of it is there's people that are smarter than you that understand these psychological techniques.
Warfares.
And they're controlling you like a puppet.
Totally.
Oh
my gosh, that is so true. I'm glad you said that, because that's absolutely what's happening. And I think my husband and I have had lots of talks about just the fact that even the shows on TV and stuff, like, people are addicted to drama. Like, they want to feel something so bad that they would rather feel bad than look to feel joy or peace. Because there's something within them, there's some addiction to the dopamine or whatever they get in that chemical reaction to drama, that they get attracted to listening to the news, and they have to know what's going on.
Well, part of that is the strongest force to get people to react is loss aversion. So let's say we had a video that we posted right now, and we said, if you follow this blueprint, in 5 years you will have $5 million guaranteed. It could get 30 views. Maybe no one watches it. But if we say, if you don't watch this video right now, your entire retirement account's going to get wiped out. If you don't watch this video right now, you are going to lose your community. Like, people will hold on to what they could potentially lose stronger than what they have to gain.
Isn't
and because
that
of that, there are many people, political consultants, all over the place. They know that loss aversion is such a strong force that they leverage it against you.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. And it's wild, the human condition and the psychology of all of it and what people sign up for.
It's because humans are really predictable.
They are. But we don't want to be predictable.
Well,
I don't want to be predictable. Like,
did you know that depending on the city, you can just take the data and you can determine the average speed at which people walk. You can determine all sorts of things. Humans, we all want to think we're...
Is that like collective energy? Is that why?
Part of it is that, but we're a tribalistic people, and people follow patterns of other people. That's why, for example, in different regions, people have the same dialects.
Yep.
They like the same foods. They share a similar culture.
Yep.
Why is that? Because people are adopting those identities and belief systems from their environment. So I always just challenge people to like question everything.
Yeah.
And that's why,
that's how that's like acceptance. Like that's how you're accepted.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. People always ask me, dude, where are you from? Or like, you're so different. It's just because I just reached a point where I'm like, I just question everything and I'm always evolving.
Yes.
Like so fast. Like every month it's like a new version of me, you know?
Same. It's wild. And just releasing all these like stories, right? My husband and I, we talk a lot. Like we have chats.
You guys go deep.
We have super deep chats. And we were just going over the fact that every single thing is a story, right? And the story in your present moment predicts your future. So whatever story you're telling right now, like let's say something happens, right? Let's say, I don't know, something stupid, like you get a big bill in the mail, right? And then you create a story about how you don't have the money for that bill. But the bill's not due for like 2 months.
Right.
But you've created the story. So now for the next 2 months, you're going to be anxious. You're going to be fearful. You're going to be so like, oh my God, I don't have the money. So the money can't manifest.
It can't.
Because that's the story you're telling.
No, I agree.
It's just like when they say you have stage 4 cancer and you're going to die. How many people have lived beyond that because they refused to believe it, right? Or like were paralyzed and said they would never walk again. I have a brother who actually was paralyzed and he swore he would walk again, and he did.
There we go.
Right? So it's like we define what's going to happen in the next moment, but those inner stories are so part of the fabric that we need to start like cutting up. And that's the mindset stuff.
It is the mindset stuff, and that's why having a mentor or a program.
Yes, please talk about your programs. I really want people to know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's a lot of these things are just so much more valuable than people understand, because oftentimes I look at a lot of the work that I do is that I have to be stronger than the people that I coach or I mentor, because oftentimes they may not have the strength for what they're going through.
Yep.
And secondly, we are never our best coaches. We can be great coaches to other people, but a lot of people can say something to somebody that gives you a breakthrough. And because it came from somebody else,
it's so true.
Then it helps you do the thing.
Yeah. We say that about our kids all the time. Like somebody else says it and they hear it.
Right. So
Jesus wasn't a prophet in his own land. That's what we say.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's fascinating where, it's just personal growth, self-development, and continually learning. And it's just sad that we're in a society that, to me, people define traditional education as learning.
Yeah. I think they're breaking free from that, though. Like the amount, because my daughter homeschools, and she just started homeschooling, and the amount of kids being homeschooled now has jacked in the last couple of years. Like
I can
doubled.
understand. You don't know what necessarily belief systems, it could make you fearful. You don't know what they're going to program into your children.
It's true.
And, you're going to have a lot of resistance from the world with that. They're going to say you're fear-mongering or whatever.
Yep.
But you have to make the best decisions for you and your family.
You do. And even if your kids do go to school, like as long as you are the powerful force in their life, I feel like it's okay. It's not like everybody has to homeschool. I didn't homeschool, but my kids know what they know because they listen to us, and we didn't become those disciplinarians. We are supportive and loving, and we have good communication, where I feel like a lot of times what happens is the parents are disciplinarians, so they hate the parents, so they're going to listen to their peers or they're going to listen to their teachers more than their parents. So it's just that kind of style where you realize your kid is a soul, and they're growing up and they're figuring things out, and you don't always know what's best for them, honestly. They have their own little agenda here,
That and the relationship dynamics change.
Yeah.
100%. When you're a kid, you look at your parents sometimes as superheroes, or they're strong, or they're resilient, and then eventually they become your peer.
And then you see them go through crap, and you're like, wow, okay, mom and dad are human.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when can we do a part 2?
Whenever you're ready. Yeah, I would love to. So just tell people how to get a hold of you, and if you want to just share a couple of your programs, I think that would be great.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to connect, my DMs are always open. It's Brett Booker on Instagram, Brett Booker on YouTube. You just type my name, you can find me on any social platform. My flagship program is called Pattern Break, and we focus on a lot of the methodologies that I shared with you today, which is identity shifting.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So it's picking 3 target identities that you want to shift into, and then that's how you rebuild the habits you want in your life. A lot of people try to force habits through willpower without understanding that willpower is a finite battery.
It doesn't work.
So you scale it up based on specific identities that are complementary to where you're at in your journey, and then with the accountability and community to get you there.
Yeah, the accountability is really important, because one of the biggest things that happens is people get tested. Like when you start to change and when you start to take on this new identity, the whole, I think, idea before that is like, oh, God is testing me or the universe is testing me. It's not that. Your old identity is working to pull you back. And if you're not savvy to it and you're not aware of it and you don't have somebody being accountable to you, it's so easy to go back, because it's easy to stay the same. As much as it sucks, it's easy to stay the same.
Because we know what to expect.
And the uncertainty of becoming someone new and foraging through the fear and all that stuff, it's like walking through the fire, you know? It's like Tony Robbins. You need to have somebody saying, cool moss. Did you ever walk across the fire?
No.
Oh, I did. It's nuts.
No.
Yeah, you say, so that's how you get across the fire. So you're walking across hot coals, and they prepare you for 3 hours for this. And you say, cool moss, cool moss, cool moss, and your feet don't burn.
Wow.
I did it. It's freaking wild.
Let's go.
And then they grab you and hose off your feet, because sometimes the hot coals get stuck to your feet. I did not burn. It was amazing. But that, again, repetition, mantra, belief system, all dialed in.
Yeah.
So cool. Well, thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you.
This was awesome.
Oh.
I know I deserve you. I told the girls up front, I said, I deserve him.
Yeah. We'll have a round 2.
All right.
So,
definitely. I would love that. All right. Peace out, people.
See you guys.